I know from my past experience that I can do that. It's basically a goal that I've created that I know I can accomplish. And it's not like I have to feel bad every night if I didn't get 2 videos a week done, or I didn't get 1,000, whatever. It doesn't, that all that will take care of itself.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Designer Future podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself straight away for me, man.
Sounds good. My name is Tristan Emond. I'm with Mindful Living Realty. My wife and I actually started our own real estate company back in 2016, and we live in Rapid City, South Dakota, here in the United States.
Amazing, man. Amazing. So, just to give the audience a little bit of perspective on how I sort of come across you and some of the things that you've been doing, let's just talk a little bit about what you've been up to when it comes to social media and how you've sort of been bringing the two, real estate and social media together. Just if you can summarize a little bit for me.
Right. So I have always been a personal person, and I always wanted to bring forth who I was in wherever I did. So everything's always, it's a joke, it's a smile, it's making you happy. It's not all about sales and making money, but it's all about, what can I do to give you a smile, to remind you about what I do, and also make sure you remember who I am. Of course, it's kind of the whole point of the social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been my goal in everything that I've done. I've been pretty active in Facebook and all the different channels for a while. Facebook is kind of my favorite one where I've been starting at. But just this last year, I started in YouTube and really have consistently created YouTube videos, which has brought me a number of sales, and a number of sales that are looking like it's going to come to pass in 2021. And so that's kind of I'm moving all into YouTube now. It used to be my website was my hub, and I try to move everybody to the website, and hopefully they'd register to look at homes. But now I'm backing off of that, and I'm going to send everybody to my YouTube as my hub, and everything else is kind of subsidiary based upon that.
Sure.
So that's kind of where we're at this stage of the game.
Amazing, man. Amazing. I absolutely love it. And I think it's pretty new in terms of like real estate agents and estate agents here in the UK. I feel like in the States, it's very, very big, but here it's not so much in terms of like estate agents and realtors bringing their personal brand, if you like, through YouTube. Here it's like Instagram is more sort of the shiny object in a sense, but
right.
Absolutely love it. And just talk to me a little bit about why you chose YouTube. Obviously, I know the groups you're in, and obviously the mentorship you've sort of had in terms of what to create and how to create it. But if you could just sort of like summarize why you've chose YouTube and the benefits for realtors that haven't yet sort of started utilizing YouTube.
Right. So I've kind of got a whole video story for you that I'll try to get into a little bit here, just to kind of give you background. I got into real estate in 2006, and when I got into it, I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it my way. Mm-hmm. Back then, it was very much cold calling and door knocking and very old school methods, and that's just not who I was. It wasn't really something that I wanted to do. And so I started watching webinars. I was a webinar junkie for a number of years, and I gathered all this information, and as things progressed, and of course I'm very tech savvy, so I love the tech conferences. So other realtors were going to their GRI courses and all these other things. I was going to the tech courses and the blog courses and all these things. That's where I was concentrating my efforts on. And so one of the things that was really prevalent later on as you got into the 2010, 2012 is video. And I always had in my head, I wanted to do video, but I was I was a perfectionist. So I was thinking about it too much. Well, how am I going to do this? What about, what kind of camera? I need this, I need that. And just roadkill. Right. Yeah. All the time. Right. And so I had this idea about 2010, my wife joined me in real estate, and we became the Emond team. And we tried to do a video with both of us, and that just didn't kind of really flow. We were getting mad at each other. It was not pretty. But I still wanted to do something. And I really wanted to provide like a buyer and a seller, how to buy a home, how to sell a home type of videos. And I had this idea. It was called Tristan and his whiteboard, where I did everything in front of a whiteboard, and I presented the facts. But it just kind of I always had in my head, but never really did it. I went to this big when I was still with a corporate real estate agency, and I went to their big conference. And here we have all these millions of dollar sales people telling you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. And you know what I came away with out of that conference? Go do your own thing. So it was like, okay, that's video. And so one thing led to another. 2016, my wife and I said, you know what, we can do this ourselves. We opened up Mindful Living Realty. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, which was good because that way I didn't have to change my, hi, I'm Tristan, but so-and-so, so that worked out really well. So then I started creating those videos, and it took me a while to kind of get the hang of it, but right away I started creating those buyer and seller process seller videos. Now, I thought those would take off. I thought people would love them, but turns out not so much. They weren't, they'd find that information on Zillow or MSN or any other different, heavily populated real estate website. So then I started getting into doing more listing videos, and I got involved in one real estate group which did some creative listing videos, and they were funny and they were enjoyable, and they better graphics, better scenery, that kind of thing. And so then I started creating listing videos. I was actually, one point I went out and I asked other agents to do listings, videos of their listings, and they ended up selling right away as soon as I did the video. I did a Halloween video, I did a Thanksgiving video, I did a Christmas video. Okay, it was kind of a Home Alone-ish kind of thing. That was a lot of fun. I brought in some friends, 2 little boys, and we had a blast with that video. But then as I'm getting involved in these real estate realtor groups, doing video, they started some of them started talking about YouTube, and they started saying, well, you need to do a consistent video every week on something that people are actually searching for, which makes sense to me because I have played with Google Ads and AdWords forever, so that I understood that whole process. And so there's just a matter of, okay, I needed to decide, okay, I'm going to do this, and then how I'm going to do it. And so April of 2020, I said, okay, this is actually 2020 was going to be like, okay, I'm going to start doing this year. And I finally got my first one done in April. And since then I posted some 50 some videos in the year of 2020, pretty much one every week. There's a couple I missed, but again, I'm not the person that's going to be worried about missing 1 or 2. It's still going to roll through. And that's kind of been my bread and butter. And it took me a bit. It wasn't until September that I got my first person that actually contacted me and said, hey, I saw your videos. I think they're cool. I want to come up and buy a house. So for a while there, it was like, what am I doing? Am I spending all this time, energy, and effort for what? I'm just, it took that long to get the first 100 subscribers. It took that long to get my first lead. But since then, in December, I closed over $1 million, or almost $1 million worth of sales directly related to my YouTube videos. So 2021 was just like, well, this is working. We spent $100, $150, maybe $200 a month in Facebook ads trying to get people to our website. And I don't know of one legitimate lead that came through that directly. But I can point my finger to, right now over 50 leads from YouTube. And it's no brainer now.
Yeah, and sorry, just to jump in there as well, like just for the people watching and listening, like Facebook ads, 110% they work, right? Okay, but what Tristan's telling me and telling you guys is he's over a period of time built an authority and trust, and let his personality, for one thing, shine through, and his expertise shine through his videos. And that's why I say for not just only real estate agents, but pretty much any business owners to get onto YouTube, simply because, when people spend that much time with you, so someone can book on a call in onto Tristan's calendar and theoretically have spent hours and hours and hours with him because they've consumed his content. They've built trust with him and he's built
Yep.
rapport with him because he's given them value over a period of time. And you know, that's amazing that you said, oh, you didn't get any results, but you stuck to it even when you missed a week. You know, you went back and carried on that consistency. That's actually amazing. What was it like when you know you had that lead come through and you was like, crap, this stuff actually does work now?
Oh man, that was it was so amazing to have that, you know, that first little couple comments, and then from that, it just the dam opened after that, and it just seemed like I was getting a number of different comments and a number of different people calling, and it was fun to talk to all these people and kind of get a feel for who they were, and people were even calling me and quoting me and online, and oh, you know, you said this, and they quote me. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, I had two little girls that came with their parents to look at homes, and they were like, Tristan, when they got to the office, they wanted to see my studio, and I'm like, it's just a wall. I mean, you know, that's you know, but they're all so excited. One of them was like, Tristan, what makes you decide to be a YouTuber? And I'm like, I was just trying to do something different, so your parents called me instead of somebody else. So you know, that was kind of the point. And so that point that you mentioned about the trust and the authority is crazy, because there is no question about whether or not, you know, they're going to use you or somebody else. It's already there. Their trust is there. I'm going to use you. You know, there was a couple times where I haven't been available and they found someone else, etc. But majority of people are just already on the bandwagon, and it's not even a question. The number of people I've talked with on Facebook Messenger, I've had to chase them down, ask them, well, they gone to see the lender, back and forth, and then all of a sudden they're gone, and just the amount of with loyalty, when you have enough YouTube videos in front of their face and they see part of who you are and part of what you are, then they're attracted to that. You know, there was another realtor that has started 6 months previously than I did doing YouTube videos in Rapid City, and he has got a lot more views than I did. And so I was like to the group, I was like, "Hey guys, should I even be bothering with this? Is he gonna win all the business?" And they're just like, "No, just keep doing it, because you're gonna attract the people that you attract, and he'll attract the people that he'll attract."
100%.
And that's, I think, number one on this. You know, consistency, as of course is important, but it's also important to be yourself. So when I get on my videos, I'm doing my jokes, I'm doing I love wordplay, so I'm playing with wordplay. I'm usually throwing in a little tiny 30-second clip, where you know, a 5-second clip from some Disney movie or something, or Star Trek video or something, just to show off my personality and my fun, you know. So that's the other part that's important, is don't be a salesperson, be you. Be informative and be honest, and let the rest kind of take care of itself.
Amazing. And I think looking back at my sort of journey as well, is I started sort of like just documenting what I was doing, and then I went very like value-based content, but then I sort of think I lost my personality through the videos in a sense, and I think that sort of limited what was going on, because I was just thinking too like robotic in terms of I need to provide value, and I lost the jokes and the relatability that ultimately, like you said, does build that trust and authority with people. Unbelievable, by the way. So congratulations for what you've done so far. And I love that you know, not that you don't take, I don't want to say you don't take it too seriously, but like the fact that you want to put the jokes in and stuff like that, and you're not thinking, oh no, like this isn't how someone within this industry should be acting, sort of thing. Because like you said, that is what ultimately has got these people to go ahead and book in a call with you or book in a consultation with you. Outside of the real estate sort of stuff, what is one thing that you've done that you're sure that none of my previous guests have done?
Oh my goodness, what a question. I had something and I just left my mind. Man, what was that? So last summer, I took a trip with my son and my friend, and we went up to the top of a hill. We live, Rapid City is on the west side of South Dakota, and we're just on the gateway of the Black Hills. The Black Hills are about I can't remember how many acre thousand park, but it's just on the, it's a smaller area just on the side of the state. And it's actually Black Elk Peak is the tallest peak east. So the Rockies are of course bigger on the west, but we're one of the tallest peaks here. So we decided to go backpacking, and we slept on a rock in the middle of the night, overlooking a big, overlooking the Black Hills for a night, and it was quite the experience to say the least. It was a wet year, so when we started out sleeping on a grassy patch, there was gnats and bugs all over the place. I mean, they were like, I was like not sleeping, and so I went off toward, and that's actually where we got to the rock, where the rock was just the rock. And so I was like, guys, there's no bugs over here. Let's go over here. And we actually put our sleeping bags out, slept underneath the stars on the rock. A little bit of rain every once in a while, a little bit of sprinkle. And so I think that's my story and what other people may not have done.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. Another thing, if you had to delete all of the apps off of your phone, but we could say you could keep 3 of them, what would the 3 apps that you'd keep in terms of the YouTube channel and just running the real estate business itself?
Right. So I would have to keep my YouTube Insights app. Amazingly enough, or maybe not amazingly enough, I deleted Facebook and Instagram this week. Just not, and I don't need to be. It's amazing how much time I spend on them little things, I tell you.
Exactly. I've actually done a similar thing. I've now got 2 phones, and I've got one that's got no apps on it. It's just got the phone app, and the other phone that's got social media and stuff like that. It just gets locked away throughout the day.
Yeah. So other than the that YouTube Analytics app, of course I need to make texts, I need to make phone calls, and then I've got a number of different apps in my real estate bin. That one of them is called HomeSnap, which I actually use for not it's supposed to have all the listings on it, but I find that it's not doesn't grab them all. But what it does a really good job of is it actually pinpoints your location on the map very well. So if you're out looking at a property, you can pull that up as long as we've got some decent service, and I can actually find the corners of the lot based upon where the little blue dot has me. So that's a very helpful tool, especially when you're looking at some raw land, which we've seen a little more of this past couple of years. So, so I think those are my main ones. More business, more taking care of client kind of scenario. But I certainly enjoy Facebook. I like to get on there, but my posts are always, it's got to be a joke. It's got to be family oriented. It's got to be something that can make you smile. So that's what I enjoy about Facebook. But lately, it's got a little too political. So I'm like,
yeah, for sure. And just while we're on the topic of Facebook, before I get on to some of the other questions, obviously we met in Karen's group, which is obviously an amazing sort of group that there's so much being put into there. So what do you sort of get out of those communities? Because like you said, there was a situation where you was ready to give up in terms of creating content and you put into there, and they obviously inspired you, gave you the motivation to continue doing, and all of a sudden, you hit the golden pot in a sense. So what has the value of that sort of community been for you as well?
For the first part, it got me started. Karen did a very good job of, here's what you need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She had that 5 days of getting the page ready, getting things going like that. The other people's value of their information, the things that they've posted, the things that they've had success with, has been very valuable to me to learn. I guess maybe I should do that. It took me a while to kind of get the moving to Rapid City pros and cons video done. But what everybody kept talking about, I was like, well, I gotta get that done. So it provided the inspiration to, get the things done that I knew were gonna get the views.
Like proof of concept as well, right? So you could see it was working for someone. Why would it not work for me, sort of thing?
Right. And then a lot of it was just kind of the help to get off the sub for sub and understand how YouTube works, and just have the patience to wait for YouTube to find your audience. That's a big patience thing. When I went from asking people to like and comment to not at all, and then you know, when your videos go from 100 views to 30, you're like, please, somebody watch my video.
Yeah, with that being said, I love how, like you said, you got rid of all the social media, but the YouTube analytics had to stay because it's like when you are in that sort of mindset, I couldn't imagine ever deleting the YouTube analytics from mine. You're just constantly thinking, oh, okay, I've got 10 more views this week or whatever the metrics may be. And do you find yourself a little bit too involved in like the YouTube analytics side of things now?
I'm not a numbers person.
Okay.
I'm a little more big picture type person. So I look at it enough just to kind of get a feel for it, but I'm not like, okay, so I've got this, I got these people watching at this point in time, and so I'm doing this, and so I just do it. Because if I spend too much time analyzing, I'll never get anything done. Because I've learned about myself. It's just do it. So, but I like the analytics, and it gives me a feel for, you know, I like to see how many people are watching or what videos people are watching. For instance, I've kind of got a selection of series of videos. I have, you know, moving to Rapid City, and then I every time we got into the Black Hills, I'll do a video of our different hikes and things. So you kind of get a feel for what the Black Hills look like. And I've got neighborhood tour videos, and so I kind of do a mixture of all those. Well, I've learned from the past year that the ones that do the best are the ones that are talking about the pros and cons of moving to Rapid City. So that has inspired me to be like, okay, I need to make sure that I get at least one of those in a month, if not two, to make sure that kind of keeps the thing rolling. But you know, some people are really into the analytics, and they're asking all these questions, and I'm like, just
do it.
Working, keep just all in, and just keep doing it.
Yeah. And I think that's so important of like the analysis paralysis. Like you can just keep looking at the numbers over and over again and trying to figure out what works through the data, or you can just concentrate on continuously improving your content, and like we said before, being consistent with your content. And then say, for example, once a month, then reviewing what's happened that month, and then sort of projecting what to do moving forward. Just let's imagine that someone's jumped onto this video. They, you know, maybe they're an upcoming real estate agent, or they're looking to become a real estate agent, or, you know, they are a real estate agent and they've never thought about doing YouTube at all. What would your advice be to getting started on YouTube as a real estate agent in 2021?
Just do it. I know that's stupid. I know that's so boring.
Yeah.
But it's kind of true. As we've talked about, the analysis paralysis is a real thing. You can spend forever just thinking about how to do stuff. At some point, you just need to pull out what you have available. You know, you don't have to have a big camera. You don't have to buy a new camera. You don't have to buy a bunch of different lights. You know, at the moment, you know, pull out your phone, put it on a tripod in front of you, and hit the record button, and talk about what you know. That and for real estate agents, I would, you know, we have a tendency to spend too much time, like I mentioned earlier as well, talking about the process and so what you do buyers and what you do for your seller. That those are great, and you need to have those, but those aren't going to bring in the leads. Those aren't going to bring in the people that, because they want to know about your area. Be professional in your area. So start talking about what's great about your area, what's great about where you live. That would be the number one thing for you to do. And if nothing else, you don't have to be all on camera either. Maybe all it is just putting yourself up there. Hi, I'm Tristan. I'm doing this. Have a great day. By the way, and check out the video of the neighborhood. And so then you go out and you go to the city and you take videos of different things, put it all together, go back in camera, do an outro. You're done. You've got yourself a video about your city, you in there. And, you know, if it were me, I'd be like throwing my face in the middle of something with some kind of quirky comment or something.
Yeah.
But that's something that isn't very hard to do. You can get some editing apps on your phone that you can use to kind of put all those pieces together. It doesn't have to be overly produced. It doesn't have to be overly hard. Just get something together, put it in there, and get it started. And then the next week, do the same thing. Learn as you are doing the next thing the next time. Maybe like, well, you know what, this didn't work out very good next time. Next time I'm going to do this. Improve each time. Sooner or later, you're going to get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it, then you can tighten in the screws. Once you can start tightening the screws, and you can upgrade. It's just start with one thing, master that thing, go to the next. Get that thing figured out, go to the next. If you try to do all of it at once, it's just going to be a pain. You're never going to get it all done, and you're going to quit because you don't know. You're trying too hard to do too many things. For instance, like I mentioned, we have decided to go all in YouTube. So I've got this new computer, I've got a new camera, I've got a couple new lights, I've got a new background that I'm going to put up. So that's just to improve the quality of the video and how to make it happen. But obviously, that didn't matter in 2020. Those things happened for me just on my recording on my phone.
Yeah. And you know, you've hit that absolute nail on the head there, because even a conversation I had with someone yesterday, they used to be a member of the gym I used to work at, and they booked in a call on my calendar from one of my YouTube videos, and he was like, well, I knew he was in the gym and so on and so forth, and he was like, but how have you got so good at videos now? And I was like, I've made tons and tons of videos. And he was like, oh, and I was like, there's nothing really else to say other than every video had just continuously improved it. And exactly what Tristan's saying is, he started with his phone, and then, like what he said, he started to get results, and then he's reinvesting into the production and the amount of time, the amount of effort, and obviously he's learned. Maybe, did you say you went from editing on your phone to now you're obviously editing on a computer as well? Is that same?
I've always had, so we've always had the Adobe package, Creative Cloud. So since we had it, because my wife that does a lot of the work with Adobe PDFs, so we always had that program. So it's just a matter of, well, since we have it, I might as well learn to use Premiere.
Sure.
But Premiere is the Adobe's video editing program. It's very complicated. But you can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
But what's also good about it is you can go onto Adobe and they have tutorials, walk by walk, step through by through. Again, you don't have to know how to create zooms on your videos. All you need to know is, okay, how do I put all these together? How do I cut, paste, make it look add some music, add some endings? How do you export it? I mean, you get that much done, you can get it done, and then next time you can learn, okay, hey, I can add a text here, I can add a box here, I can do this over here. You don't have to do everything all at once. You can go, as I mentioned, you start somewhere and you master the one thing, move on to the next.
And what's the guy saying? Little improvements make major differences, or something.
Right. Yep. A little bit at a time.
And I think as well, like you said, you've always had that interest in the tech as well. And when you start producing content and you start making videos, I've always been like, I'll watch the last video I created and I'm like, it almost drives me, because I'm like, I can't wait to make the next video better. And then obviously, like what you said, you're then learning other things. You're learning, okay, maybe I could do this in the next one as well. And that's amazing, by the way. So like I said, congrats for what you've done. What's one thing when it comes to creating content? I know you briefly just talked about it then, but what's one thing with creating content, if you could give a tip around like creating systems and like automation? Because obviously it's all well and good saying, yeah, I'm gonna create one video per week, but obviously there's a lot that goes into that, right? In terms of research, planning it, actually filming it, editing it, distributing it. Like, there's a lot that goes on. So if you could sort of sum up your process, or how you'd suggest someone to get it done.
Right. I wish I was better at some of the blocking out time to do stuff. Sure. I'm not as good as that as I need to be. That's a big component of it. However, one of the first things I did was I got myself in the mode to sit down and start writing out videos. These are the videos I want. I've got a list of videos I can make. So I'm not spending 2 days just thinking, well, what's my video now? I don't know what I want to do. What am I going to do? So it's not a big issue as far as, okay, what am I going to make? I've got plans, right? Sure. So just sit down one day, write out a bunch of video ideas. They don't have to be good. They don't have to be brilliant. They just have to be ideas. And as you get involved in different groups and you look at what other realtors have done and their popular videos, you copy what they're doing. it's not a rocket science to kind of decide it, but that's a big step, is just having the ideas. The second step is making sure that you do have the quality time that you set aside for recording, for just writing out your script, whatever it is. Mine usually ends up being Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday ends up being, getting crap done day. Tuesday ends up being kind of showing day, getting take care of that. So Wednesday usually I have a block of time in the afternoon where I can set aside time and I can be recording, I can be doing what I need to do, so that by Thursday I'm ready to be editing and posting Thursday afternoon. That's the plan. But sometimes it's like, if I'm not if I have time on Tuesday and I can start working on it on Tuesday, so that gives me a little more time to put it together. That alleviates time. I know Karen talks a lot about blocking time. She does 4, 5, 6 videos at a time. I don't work that way as much because I don't have necessarily, I always have everything in place. I don't have the research done quite in time, that kind of thing. But a lot of times I'll have one heavily researched one, and the next one will be, going out looking at the Black Hills, which is just a matter of putting the clips together, and then throwing in some voiceover. So a lot of the system is just a matter of always having it on your mind, always being thinking about what's going on. When you're out in the city, start taking pictures, start taking video. Just, in the middle of the day, if you're out somewhere and you're downtown, go take some videos of some areas around town. Even if you don't have a plan to make a video of that right then, at some point maybe you'll use that. So just kind of be always proactive about, okay, what can I do to find content for my next video, right? And I think my final tip is, once you kind of get rolling with this, you'll start to get comments. Listen to the comments, listen to what people are saying, and make a video based on that. I had a lot of people say, "Oh, well, what's the job market like?" And I was like, "Well, because I never thought about that. I'm not really in the job market, so I don't know." So I made a phone call to the Chamber of Commerce, and I put together a job video. It was not a great video, but at least was it provided the information. And I actually got someone that called me and said, "Hey, Tristan, thanks for that video. That's exactly what we needed to hear. You're our guy."
Love it.
So that worked.
I love it. And yeah, so like, just to jump in on that as well, the best thing that you sort of mentioned about that is like that whole documenting versus creating sort of thing. Is like, you was just documenting what's going on, and you real time solving the problems and questions that people are asking as well. So
yeah,
one of the videos that done very well for me was pretty much the exact same thing. There's videos that I've spent weeks on, like crafting a script, spent ages editing and stuff like this, and versus there's videos that one of my clients have texted me and said, "Olley, how do you do this?" And I've just gone, you know what, instead of me just replying back to you, I'm going to shoot a quick video. And I've literally hit record, pressed it, edited it within about 10 minutes, put it up, and that was one of the best videos. Why? Because it answered a question versus me thinking, okay, I need to spend hours editing it. It needs to have these transitions. It needs to have this music. This to have this. Whereas as long as you put the value first, putting the value first is basically the golden nugget when it comes to YouTube, right? So yeah, that's absolutely incredible, man. If we used to talk about resources when it comes to, obviously you've done Karen's course, we'll obviously link Karen's Facebook group below, because there's so much value in there. Like you said about being around others that have inspired and motivated you to firstly even get started, but motivation, support, it's an amazing community in there in terms of everyone giving back. But other than that, is there you mentioned about you learning Premiere and stuff like that. Is there a resource, whether it's like another YouTube channel or books that you read, any other source when it comes to creating content now as a realtor?
Right. I think the YouTube groups are the first one as far as the content that's out there. I have a tendency to create content and not watch a lot of content. But I'll jump on some if a realtor's got 1,000, 2,000 views. I'll check out their videos and see what's working good for them to kind of spark me some ideas. And by doing that, I think Karen's probably talked about this. but you can go to their channel, click on the video button, and click on most viewed as one of the options, and then you can see which ones have been performing the best, and then decide, okay, how can I make this work for me and my location? Which not everyone is going to work, and make sure that it's part of you.
Yeah.
But that's a very good way to find out. This ways to find some content. Some other tools that I use. There's a free background remover that you can. That's a website. I don't remember what it's called, but just type in free background remover.
Remove.bg.
Something like that. Yeah. So that's a great tool for making in your little pieces for your content for your pictures, because I love to throw in little fun things.
Sure.
And then there's a bunch of different free sound, free music categories. The one I've been enjoying lately is called bensound.com, and as long as you put in bensound.com on the description, he's got a bunch that you can download for free, and they're all different. He's got a whole bunch of different ones that I really like because I always like to have a little bit of background music playing that's kind of interesting but not too interesting. So it's got to be the right one, of course. I think that's one of my biggest tools that I've been using lately. There was a deal on clipart.com where you can I think it's just the end of the year deal where I got $130 for a year's worth of all the clip art that I can find. So that'll be a good use for the next 2021. So I can play with those for making the thumbnails. It's very important to have some clip art somewhere. And that's why I've used the remove background quite a bit for my pictures. That's how I get rid of that. I've been using Canva for the making of the thumbnails. That hasn't been too bad. However, I've got Photoshop, so I need to learn how to use that better, because it'll probably help make things a little bit better, a little bit easier if I can just get into it and use it. So I think those are my main tools at the moment.
Amazing, man. Perfect. Thank you so much. I think you've dropped a lot of value on here for people wanting to jump into the YouTube space. Obviously, this is the Design of Future podcast. So to wrap it up, I'd love to talk about where is Tristan in the next 12 months. One thing I like to talk about with everyone is, I'd love to get you on in a year's time and for us to say, look, this is what we achieved this year. This is how we're designing our future. So where's Tristan in the next 12 months?
Tristan is just going to keep on keeping on. I'm not a huge, I got to have 5,000 views, and it'll come as it comes.
Love it.
So it's going to be one video a week for 2021.
And do you know what? I love that because one thing I've been doing recently is like not focusing on the goals, focusing on the systems and the processes. So the fact you just said, even the fact like Tristan will be creating one video a week consistently, like that is perfect. I love that.
And it makes perfect sense, because I know from my past experience that I can do that. So it's basically a goal that I've created for the next year that I know I can accomplish. And it's not like I have to feel bad every night if I didn't get 2 videos a week done, or I didn't get 1,000, whatever. It doesn't, that will take care of itself. As long as I'm doing my job, being who I am, creating the content that I feel that is good content, listening to my people, and putting out at least 1 video a week, I know that the business will follow. The followers will come. All the rest of itself will take care of itself. So that's kind of, hey, if I get 2 videos done a week, yay, I'm up on it. It's all gravy.
Yeah.
But I know I can accomplish 1 video a week, and we'll see what things turn out at the end of the year.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Well, I wish you the absolute best. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm also going to leave Tristan's YouTube channel in the description below. Definitely go check it out. Like you said, creating some amazing content and some funny sketches in between as well. So yeah, absolutely love it. Just to really sum up, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you think the audience would sort of figure out some value from it?
I think I pretty much nailed a lot of what I had in my head to say. I think we managed to say most everything that kind of makes that's reality to me.
Definitely.
And who I am. So I think you did a good job.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for coming on. Thank you guys for watching and listening at home, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
Cool, man. Have a great day. Thanks, Olley.
Hollywood 6.